G'day guys, it's Kev here from Kev's Collectibles, back with another haul. Look, I've just finished watching the latest episode of the Mandalorian show, and yeah, I'm pretty hyped at the moment. It was a pretty amazing episode. So for this haul, a quick reminder that there are going to be quite a few spoilers because of if you haven't seen the recent Mandalorian show. So I suggest you put this video on pause or watch it later after you've seen that episode. But if you don't mind spoilers, just keep watching, obviously. So obviously the biggest reveal in the latest episode was the appearance of Ahsoka Tano straight off the bat, kicking butt with her, two lightsabers. With the white kyber crystals, amazing. She just kicked butt. Obviously, for those who are in the know or keep tabs of the comic book market, particularly with Star Wars, this book here is no surprise. So, Star Wars Clone Wars 1. This came out in 2008, and it's the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano and also Captain Rex. That's Ahsoka Tano right there, standing next to Anakin. I've got 2 copies of that. There's also a newsstand version, so this is the direct edition, but there's a newsstand version which is extremely rare, and it says Star Wars Universe there on the barcode. The other one you want to keep an eye out for is actually the second print, which is a hard copy version. This came out 2 years later in 2010, and yeah, this particular one is from I think a public library. But yeah, I bought this one off Amazon, and I think there may be a few still up there, but these are drying up pretty quickly. But yeah, try and get your hands on that one. And obviously the real big one, again, no surprise to many, is this one here. Sorry about the glare, it's pretty crazy today. And that's Star Wars Clone Wars #1, the Dark Horse 100 variant. So essentially only 1,000 of these were printed, and Dark Horse put together a promotion, and there were only 100 lucky stores that got hold of 10 copies of this. So yeah, this is a very, very pricey book at the moment, and obviously will stay that way now. Ahsoka's made an amazing appearance on the Mandalorian show, and I'm sure we'll see more of it later. Some other books to look out for, which are early appearances of Ahsoka. We've got Clone Wars #2, which I think is her 3rd appearance. You've got Clone Wars #3. There's Ahsoka there in chains, if you're into bondage covers. And Star Wars Clone Wars #6. So that's a pretty cool cover. So these are all early appearances that you want to keep your eyes out for. The other huge reveal was that after Ahsoka had a duel with the magistrate, she asked the magistrate, "Tell me where your master is. Tell me where Grand Admiral Thrawn is." And that's Grand Admiral Thrawn right there. And this is Heir to the Empire #1, which came out in 1995. Now this is the first full appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn, and also Mara Jade. And Mara Jade is actually an assassin that was working for Palpatine, who in the, I guess, Legends series, old comics, ends up being Luke Skywalker's wife. And also a Jedi Master as well. So, hey, we may be able to see her. But the other amazing thing is, well, obviously the reason why Ahsoka really wants to track down Grand Admiral Thrawn, and this is for those who haven't seen the Rebel series on Disney Plus, the cartoon series, is that at the end of that episode, essentially Grand Admiral Thrawn was attacking the rebels, and right at the end, essentially to avert destruction of his ship, he put it into hyperdrive without any coordinates, sending him out into unknown space, and basically on board was Ezra Bridger. And I think that's the reason why, obviously, Ahsoka wants to track him down, is so she can find Ezra Bridger and bring him back. And talking about Ezra Bridger, some books that you really want to keep your eye out on. Oh, sorry, and before I move on to that book, there are other versions of Heir to the Empire as well, which I want to talk about. There's a newsstand copy, so there's the barcode down here, which is, well, the moment the Mandalorian show aired, I checked out eBay, and all the newsstand editions just got snapped up so quickly. They disappeared really fast. So that's a really popular one to buy, or people are buying at the moment. The other one is the Star Wars comic packs version, which basically has a reprint of this book without, this sort of logo and things like that. And it basically has the comic and a toy of Admiral Thrawn and some other character with the plastic bubble wrap. And thanks to the comic book speculation and market trends forum group that I'm part of on MeWe app, I'll add some details to if you guys want to join that forum. But thanks for those guys who have talked about this. And there's another version, which is the it's called the Heir to the Empire preview fan magazine version, and so it's like a preview before this particular issue came out. So that's another one to keep an eye out on. So getting back into the whole Ezra Bridger scenario, as I mentioned, he is apparently on board with Thrawn in the middle of nowhere in space. What you really want to keep your eyes out for is Kanan #1. Now this is the really rare second print of Kanan #1, and it's many are saying, well, I've had a look through this book, and it is the first cameo appearance of Ezra Bridger, and I'll prove that to you. And this is the rarest second print, but on the first page here, this is the only time you ever see Ezra. See, he says, there he is sitting down with his legs behind the seat there. He says, "Isn't that 2 words?" That's him there, and you do not see him in any of the other pages, right? He doesn't appear anywhere in any of those pages. So that is a cameo, okay? You can argue all you want, but that is a cameo. So that comic is a really important one to pick up, because that's his first cameo, but it's also the second print, as I mentioned. Now the big one though is Kanan #6. Now that's the first full appearance of Ezra Bridger and also Sabine Wren. A few guys from the CBSI team are going to bite my head off for saying this, but again, I've looked through this comic, and I'll prove it to you. This is also a really high sought after book at the moment, and as you can see here, you have Sabine Wren, speech bubble. You have Ezra Bridger right next to her talking. And throughout this book, Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren are talking, with multiple appearances and multiple speech bubbles. So this is their first full appearance. See? Lots of talking. Not just one appearance and one little speech bubble. And by the way, this is the other important thing of the #6 edition. it came with this insert. See this? So make sure when you buy number 6, make sure that it actually has that insert in there, because if you don't have it in there, I don't think it's the complete book. It's kind of incomplete if you're kind of anal like that, but keep your eye out for that book. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, oh, and by the way, in regards to Kanan number 6, I was really fortunate enough to win a copy of this. It's on its way to me now. So I was on the TeamNerdHerd live show. So a big shout out to the TeamNerdHerd crew, especially to Hood Rat, good friend of mine. And they did a raffle draw, and I was fortunate enough to actually win a copy of this. So really stoked to have won that. But I'll give you the link to their channel and also to their Instagram. But those guys are really, really fun guys to hang out with and chat about comic books, etc. And also a quick shout out to StarWarsTime. They're a podcast show, and they do like reviews of all Star Wars shows and stuff, and they talk about Star Wars lore and Spec, and also they look at Star Wars toys, like the hot toys and the toy photography as well. So I'll add a link to their channel and an Instagram link to their in the description as well. So the next thing I want to talk about, and this is where we're kind of getting into the spec now, is that so at the end of the latest Mandalorian show, Ahsoka Tano said to Mando to take Baby Yoda, and now we obviously have his real name, which is Grogu, which is pretty cool. Take Baby Yoda to the planet Tython and find an ancient Jedi temple, and she said there you'll find the Seeing Stone on top of a mountain, and another Jedi may sense Grogu and meet up with him. So what she's referring to is the planet Tython, which is in the series here, which is the Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi series. Now, Tython is basically the birthplace and home planet of the Jedi Order, and it has an extremely strong connection to the Force. And basically, thousands of years ago, around this takes place, I think, around nearly 26,000 years ago. These alien pyramids, or basically ships, no one really knows much about where they came from, but they travel to all these planets around the Star Wars universe, and basically they beckoned or attracted Force-sensitive beings of different races to come on board the alien pyramids, which would take them to the planet of Tython. And in this particular book here, which is Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi 0, it's actually I know that there's a rarer third print, I'm not sure, but in this book here, it's kind of like a guide or a handbook, and it came out the first I think in February 2012, the same time that number 1 came out, which is this one here. But basically, this is the alien pyramid I was talking about, which went to different planets and transported Force-sensitive beings to the planet of Tython, which is right here. And you can see there are 2 moons there. The white moon is actually strong with the light side of the Force, and the other moon there on the right, which is that kind of red-brown color, is actually strong with the dark side. And on this planet, there are lots of temples, and as Ahsoka said, take Baby Yoda to a temple where there's a mountain. So I was just looking through this handbook, and the closest I could find to a mountain, I think, is this one here, which is the Forge of Vur Tepe. Now, this is a really, or it could be this one here, which is Stav Kesh, the Temple of Martial Arts, which is probably more likely, because obviously, Mando is into, martial arts type of combat. But in number 1, and I'll show you that book now, you can see here that they, on the planet there, there is this mountaintop temple right here, and I'm speculating that this particular temple on Tython is perhaps where Mando will be taking Baby Yoda or Grogu. And and finally, the last thing I want to talk about is I'm picking that the Jedi who will appear when Grogu and Mando are up onto that mountain eventually, I think, and there's a lot of speculation, but I really think it's going to be Luke Skywalker. Now, obviously, this is the Star Wars number 1 from 1977, which is the first appearance of Luke. But also, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, C-3PO, R2-D2, etc. But I think he's going to appear. And at the time of the latest Mando show, he's basically going around the galaxy hunting down Jedi artifacts, and basically his goal is to collect all this information and reform the Jedi Order, or create a new Jedi Order. Obviously they've been wiped out from Order 66, so he's trying to rebuild that again. And that leads me into this other book here, which is Star Wars Jedi Academy, number 1 from 1998. This takes place actually 3 years after the latest Mandalorian show. And basically what happens is Luke sets up a Jedi training academy. As I mentioned, he's trying to train new Jedi to rebuild the Order. So I think it may lead into that. So this book may potentially be quite important in the future. And like I said, it only takes 3 years after the current Mandalorian show. So it kind of makes sense as to why Luke would be obviously on Tython, because he's trying to collect, Jedi artifacts, etc. And obviously being on that planet and, Mando and Grogu appearing, he would be there already. So that, I guess Ahsoka already knows that, and that's why she's given them that lead. Anyway, that's my haul. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Got more coming up in the future. Yeah, the Mandalorian show is absolutely amazing. I'm loving it. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.